There have definitely been some changes in the last 24 hours for XRP that do need to be discussed. This could in fact be something that creates a little bit of fuel for a further upside move for XRP. But there is one thing for sure, and that is that the market is ready for a little bit of a wild ride. And we're going to talk about that in this video, but I do want to also talk about XRP actually coming to the base layer 2 chain. All that and more in this video. So let's just dive right in. We're obviously seeing a little bit of a green day for XRP after yesterday's red. And for those that missed the news, basically, Russia is saying they are going to retaliate against Ukraine, which caused a little bit of a stir in the market. We saw a bunch of red yesterday, but most of the market has bounced back and we're seeing a little green. We're getting a little lively this morning, which is a really good sign. And what I'm really liking that I'm seeing is BTC is starting to heat up just a little bit. We're getting a little bit of green. We're trying to push again past that 20-day moving average. It's just toying around with it every single day. And, again, we're trying to turn this back into a green week, which could indicate some more momentum to the upside. But what has changed for XRP over the last 24 hours is we have seen a little bit of resurgence in short interest. Remember how we talked about stability either yesterday or the day before and reaching basically this even keel approach? Nope. The shorts are back and they're trying to press the market down after yesterday's news. We have about a 6% imbalance to the short side in terms of XRP, but that might not work out in their favor because what we're seeing is that a lot of the war news and escalations abroad, they have kind of an initial sting, but usually not a continued attack on prices in the market. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that changes, but it seems like most people's focus as of late has been tariffs, economy. The stuff overseas has just been kind of just short-term noise. And that's great. That's what we want to see is retail becoming less reactionary. And what I found very interesting for BTC actually moving to the upside, getting to about 105.2 this morning, is that we are once again in a very, very, very tight compression zone in terms of leverage in the crypto market. In fact, we just saw BTC, let me refresh this because we saw BTC move right to the edge of this leverage. And it sucks that this video is going to be coming out more in the middle of the day, but we could in fact be into some long leverage liquidations as the day progresses. And what we're seeing here is a huge, huge concentration of leverage right above here. All right. If BTC starts blasting through these, we could see assets throughout the crypto space get drugged to the upside. Something I want to show in terms of XRP here is that we have a couple batches of leverage right above here too. Actually, I want to zoom out and just kind of look at the weekly chart, something I hadn't done here, but there are definitely thick concentrations of leverage in terms of short interest here, right? If we can start getting up into that $2.28 range, you could see it blast it. There's even more up here, guys, but you could blast through some of these ranges very easily. Now, what I will say is that there still is long leverage down here too. Okay. So shorts above, there's longs below. There's some of the highest amounts of leverage we have seen in the crypto market in history. In fact, if we look at XRP here and the open interest, I don't know if this will let me do it or not. Right here. If we look at this open interest in terms of XRP, I mean, it's still pretty high. It's come down quite a bit from where it was at even just back on May 15th, but we're still sitting at about $4 billion in open interest for XRP. So you could see price move very quickly. Now, something that is very exciting for XRP is that something that hasn't been present for a long time is accessibility to XRP. That's what really opened up back in the fall. We obviously had the big win last summer versus the SEC in court, but what we started to see is this embrace of US-based crypto. You started to see XRP get relisted on exchanges, and now we're seeing XRP actually come to multiple blockchains. And what we've actually seen is the US-based crypto exchange Coinbase officially launched two wrapped assets, CBXRP and CB Dogecoin, on its base layer 2 Ethereum network. Now, this is a big deal, guys, because the more exposure you have to XRP, the better it is for price, right? Because that is now bringing us to an area that had not had XRP exposure. Sure. Could they have gotten it on Coinbase or other exchanges? Sure. But the easiest path to accessibility is when you are in that native network where DeFi activity is in fact taking place. And what we've seen is that Base has been one of the most used layer 2 chains in crypto this market cycle alone. In fact, it might be the most used layer 2 chain now. I think it might actually be, in fact, performing better than Polygon, right? So that is a very big deal. This could lead to obviously increases in volume. Now, understand this is starting off quite small. Coinbase's data shows that over 2.3 million CB XRP, which is worth $5 million, and 10.4 million CB Doge have been issued. So this is just the start of something that could potentially lead to further adoption of XRP. You want it everywhere in the crypto space. And guys, we're just getting started. This is going to be a fun cycle. I'm excited for what comes next, and hopefully things stay on a lively note today. But I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.